Breaking developments are unfolding in the energy and geopolitical landscape. Authorities have issued sweeping orders to block the movement of sanctioned oil tankers heading to and departing from Venezuela. Officials warn this move could reshape international trade routes and escalate tensions in the region. Maritime authorities are on high alert, monitoring every vessel in affected waters. Shipping companies are scrambling to comply with new restrictions. Markets are already responding, with oil prices fluctuating sharply. Experts say the blockade could have far-reaching implications for global energy security. As the situation develops, officials urge caution and vigilance. The administration has issued immediate directives to enforce a blockade on all sanctioned oil shipments connected to Venezuela. According to authorities, this measure targets vessels attempting to transport crude and refined oil products to or from the country. Maritime enforcement agencies have been instructed to intercept non-compliant tankers and ensure adherence to sanctions protocols. Officials emphasize that the operation will be conducted with strict coordination across Naval and Coast Guard units. Shipping companies and international trade observers are closely monitoring the blockade's implementation. Compliance checks are now mandatory at key ports, and vessels without clear documentation face detention or redirection. Authorities have indicated that surveillance technology, including satellite tracking and onboard inspections, will play a critical role in enforcing the blockade. Experts note that such measures could disrupt established shipping lanes, potentially delaying global oil deliveries and increasing logistical costs. Beyond the immediate operational response, economic analysts warn that the blockade may ripple through global markets. Oil prices have already shown volatility, reflecting uncertainty among traders and investors. Refined product availability in certain regions could be impacted, raising concerns over potential energy shortages or price spikes. Authorities say contingency planning is underway to minimize public disruption, with energy agencies monitoring domestic supply chains closely. As the situation continues to develop, international diplomatic channels are being engaged. Regional partners and global allies are receiving briefings to coordinate responses and maintain stability in trade and energy networks. Experts note that the blockade could strain relations with countries that rely on Venezuelan oil exports. Analysts are emphasizing the importance of balancing enforcement with ongoing diplomatic negotiations to avoid escalation. Authorities stress that public safety remains a top priority. Coastal communities near shipping lanes are being alerted to increased maritime patrols and potential ship rerouting. Ports and terminals are under heightened security, with law enforcement ready to respond to any non-compliant vessels. The operation is expected to continue around the clock, with authorities prepared to adjust strategies based on real-time intelligence and maritime conditions. Looking ahead, officials are closely monitoring potential countermeasures or evasion tactics by tanker operators. Intelligence agencies are evaluating whether sanctioned shipments may attempt indirect routes or flag changes to circumvent enforcement. Analysts note that the blockade may test the effectiveness of international sanctions and the coordination of multinational maritime oversight. Beyond the immediate response, energy experts are examining long-term implications for market stability. If the blockade persists, alternative supply sources could be prioritized, and global oil trade patterns may shift. Authorities are also reviewing the legal and regulatory framework to ensure that enforcement actions remain consistent with international law. Experts caution that the blockade could trigger ripple effects in regional economies that are heavily dependent on Venezuelan oil revenues. With the area now secured under heightened surveillance, maritime authorities continue to issue advisories and monitor compliance. Shipping lines are adjusting schedules and reporting new routes to regulatory agencies. Analysts predict that logistical challenges could persist in the coming weeks, affecting delivery timelines and contract fulfillment for energy-dependent industries. Authorities continue to emphasize vigilance and transparency in the ongoing operation. Coordination between national security, energy, and diplomatic agencies remains critical. Experts suggest that developments in the next few days will provide further clarity on the blockade's effectiveness and any emerging regional or international response.